In this video, we look into the fascinating world of our inner dialogue. Each day, our minds are filled with countless thoughts that influence how we perceive ourselves and the world around us. But have you ever paused to consider who exactly is speaking inside your head? Understanding this internal conversation is crucial for discovering our authentic selves. Today, we explore how our thoughts shape our identities and the impact they have on our daily experiences. The mind's dialogue is a powerful tool that frames our reality. It consists of the continuous thoughts and inner voices that guide our decisions, emotions, and reactions. This dialogue is not just background noise. It fundamentally shapes who we are and how we interact with the world. But where do these thoughts come from? Often they originate from a mix of past experiences, societal inputs, and personal expectations. They can be constructive or destructive, uplifting or deflating. By becoming aware of these thoughts, we can start to distinguish which aspects of our dialogue support our well-being and which may be holding us back. For many of us, the challenge is not merely in recognizing these voices, but understanding their origin and intent. Are they based on reality, or are they distorted versions of our fears and desires? To gain clarity, we need to listen closely and critically to these internal messages. Doing so allows us to align our thoughts with our true values and aspirations. Our internal dialogue is influenced by various layers of our personality. Primarily, it involves the ego, the true self, and the observing self. Each plays a distinct role in how we interpret our thoughts and experiences. Firstly, the ego can be seen as our constructed self, position, shaped by external validation and societal standards. It often focuses on survival, competitiveness, and comparison. While the ego is necessary for navigating the practical aspects of life, it can dominate our thoughts and lead us to feel disconnected from our deeper desires and values. On the other hand, the true self is our core essence, free from the layers of conditioning and societal expectations. It represents our genuine passions, values, and intuitions. Connecting with the true self can be liberating, as it often holds the key to profound contentment and fulfillment. But accessing this part of ourselves requires us to peel back the layers of observing self. Acts as a neutral witness to our mental processes. This part of us observes thoughts and feelings without attachment, offering a clearer perspective on the nature of our internal dialogue. By strengthening our observing self through practices like mindfulness and meditation, we can enhance our ability to discern between the noise of the ego and the wisdom of the true self. As we explore these layers, it becomes evident that the path to self-discovery involves tuning into and understanding the different voices within our mind. It's about questioning which of these voices are truly ours and which have been adopted from external influences. This understanding allows us to make more authentic choices and lead a life that truly reflects who we are. Conditioning plays a significant role in shaping the conversations we have with ourselves. From a young age, our environments, the expectations of those around us, and societal norms start to mold our thoughts and beliefs. These influences can be so ingrained that they become automatic responses or default settings in our minds, dictating how we react to situations and perceive our capabilities. Understanding this conditioning is key to self-discovery. It allows us to question why we think the way we do and whether those thoughts truly align with our innermost desires. Are the limitations we perceive real, or are they just reflections of what we've been told we can or cannot achieve? By critically examining the roots of our internal dialogue, we can start to dismantle the conditioned responses that no longer serve us, making room for more authentic expressions of our true selves. The ego can be a loud and persuasive voice in our minds, often concerned with maintaining status, eliciting approval, and securing control. It tends to amplify fears, doubts, and insecurities, leading to a distorted view of self and others. Recognizing when the ego is speaking is crucial for anyone on the path to uncovering their authentic self. To identify the ego's influence, pay attention to thoughts that are heavily charged with judgment or comparison. These are often ego-driven and can lead us away from our true nature. For example, thoughts that push us to seek validation externally or make us feel superior or inferior to others are typically rooted in the ego. Counteracting the ego involves awareness and practice. It requires us to observe our thoughts without attachment, acknowledging them but not feeding into them. This detachment allows us to respond rather than react, providing space to choose thoughts that are in harmony with our true self. By addressing the role of conditioning and learning to identify the ego's voice, we take essential steps toward liberating our internal dialogue from the grips of unconscious influences. This liberation is not about silencing parts of our mind, but about integrating them in a way that serves our overall well-being and fosters a deeper connection with our authentic self. The process is continuous and demands consistent effort and introspection, but the clarity and peace that come from aligning with our true self are profoundly rewarding. The true self is that aspect of us that resonates with our deepest values, desires, and innate characteristics. It is the voice of authenticity and inner wisdom that often gets overshadowed by louder, more demanding parts of our psyche, such as the ego. Listening to the true self involves a quiet mind and a receptive heart, qualities that can be cultivated through various practices. One effective method to connect with the true self is through meditation. Meditation helps still the noise of the mind, allowing the subtle, often quieter voice of the true self to emerge. Another approach is to engage in regular self-reflection, asking ourselves questions like, what truly brings me joy? Or, what am I most passionate about? These questions can guide us toward understanding our core values and the essence of our true self. Developing the observing self is about enhancing our ability to witness our thoughts and emotions objectively, without immediate identification or judgment. This observer within us is a neutral presence that does not get tangled in the drama of our internal dialogues, but instead watches over them with detachment. Practicing mindfulness is a key way to strengthen this observing self. Mindfulness involves paying attention to the present moment with acceptance and without judgment, whether it's focusing on our breath, the sensations in our body, or the activities we are engaged in. Mindfulness trains us to live more consciously and less reactively. By cultivating this observer perspective, we gain the clarity to see our thoughts and feelings as separate from our essential self. This separation is crucial for managing the influence of both the ego and external conditioning, allowing us to make choices that align more closely with our true intentions and desires. While we progress in our journey of self-discovery, understanding these aspects of our inner life not only aids in recognizing the authentic self, but also empowers us to lead a more intentional and fulfilling life. Through the practices of meditation, self-reflection, and mindfulness, we can transform our relationship with ourselves and, by extension, with the world around us. Transforming our internal dialogue requires conscious effort and commitment. It begins with recognizing the patterns of negative or self-limiting talk that frequently arise in our minds. To change these patterns, we must first identify the recurring themes and triggers that evoke them. This recognition allows us to challenge and reframe these thoughts more constructively. One effective technique is the use of positive affirmations. These are intentional, positive statements that counteract negative thoughts and reinforce the belief in our capabilities and worth. Repeating these affirmations daily helps to gradually overwrite the old, limiting beliefs and strengthens the mental pathways associated with positive self-view. Another method is cognitive restructuring, which involves questioning the validity of negative thoughts and replacing them with more balanced and realistic ones. This approach not only diminishes the power of negative self-talk, but also encourages a more positive and empowering internal narrative. To deepen the connection with our authentic self and enhance the transformation of our internal dialogue, engaging in practical exercises is highly beneficial. One such exercise is journaling. Writing down our thoughts and feelings helps in clarifying them and provides insights into our inner workings. It can reveal underlying patterns and triggers in our thinking, making them easier to address and transform. Another valuable exercise is mindfulness meditation, focused on self-inquiry. This practice involves sitting quietly and asking oneself profound questions like, "What am I truly feeling right now?" Or, "What is my heart's deepest desire?" Such questions promote deeper self-awareness and understanding. Both journaling and mindfulness meditation not only aid in self-discovery, but also facilitate a more honest and supportive dialogue with ourselves. By regularly engaging in these practices, we can cultivate a more authentic and compassionate relationship with ourselves, leading to significant personal growth and satisfaction. Internal conflicts often stem from a dissonance between our conditioned beliefs and the truths we discover about our authentic selves. Overcoming these conflicts involves acknowledging and addressing the fears and doubts that fuel them. One practical approach to resolving internal conflicts is through dialogue, writing. This technique involves writing a conversation between different parts of oneself, such as the fearful self and the confident self. T. His exercise helps to externalize internal struggles, making it easier to understand and reconcile them. Another method is the practice of decisional balance, which involves weighing the pros and cons of changing versus maintaining the status quo. This can clarify the benefits and costs associated with each option, helping to resolve conflicts by highlighting the greater long-term benefits of aligning with one's true self. The journey to discovering your authentic self is a transformative process that involves understanding the nature of your internal dialogue, connecting deeply with your true self, and learning to manage the complexities of your inner life. By practicing the techniques discussed, such as positive affirmations, journaling, mindfulness, dialogue writing, and decisional balance, you can foster a healthier, more authentic internal dialogue. This ongoing process not only enhances self-awareness but also empowers you to lead a life that is true to your deepest values and aspirations. Remember, the path to self-discovery is not linear. It requires patience, persistence, and a gentle acceptance of oneself through all the ups and downs. Each step you take is a move towards a more authentic and fulfilling life.